Today on Ag Etc., we hear from Dr. John Foltz, Chair of the Department of Animal Sciences at Ohio State University, who will talk to us about communication in the workplace. He will also talk to us about building and sustaining alliances, as well as how to act on fact versus emotion. Then we'll have an announcement from Cattle U, and we'll end with an update on glyphosate-resistant palmer. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Sometimes if it's a business where you've got somebody that has been involved in the business and they were the founder, maybe you think that they're just too fragile to discuss with them, and not telling them about what you want to do in the future is best for them, or you think that communicating will make things worse. Your thought might be it's better to fear conflict than experience it. You think that your feelings about something will pass, this too will pass, but usually the opposite happens. If it just builds, then it usually blows up. And communication is something that we've talked about a lot in our manager's notebook columns. In my opinion, you cannot over-communicate. And many of us avoid those sort of topics, particularly these sort of things. But in my opinion, if you're running a business and looking forward to the future, it's better to tackle it up front rather than to sweep it under the rug. And then finally, you think that some of those people that you're working with should obviously understand your actions, but we kind of forget that others weren't brought up with our experiences or relations or our communication styles. And so, again, back to that communication piece. And you maybe think that they know what you know, or what should happen is straightforward and obvious, but that's not a good argument as well, because everybody looks at things differently than you do. So none of these thoughts, the point I would make is none of them are legitimate for avoiding the topic of succession planning in a business, and that it should be tackled head on, and it should be a strategic part of your plan for the business of how we're going to move it forward in the future. Because of that third comment that I made up there, everybody's mortal, and we're all going to leave at some point, one way or the other. So a big part of succession planning is managing relationship risks. And so we outline, and what I'm sharing with you here is you need to look at who are the key stakeholders, and you need to look at their roles and their values, the power that they have, and the concerns that they have. And so it deals with people. And when I get into the discussion of what to do when you're the new boss, one of the things that you find is that my comment to the people that I work with at the university is everything revolves around people, politics, and money. Those are the three things that kind of run everything. And it's hard to figure those out. Usually there's not enough money, there's too much politics, and people are what are involved with all of it. So if you look at that, and I'll mention here one of the things that I think it's important to look at is kind of an organizational structure, but there's the formal organization, there's also the informal organization. You know who the influencers are in your business. Maybe one of your truck drivers. Maybe they've been there for a long time and people look up to them because of seniority. That's kind of the informal side of things. But then there's the formal org chart as well. And so you have to look at values and the power structure and how you put that all together.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com. As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
So, preparing yourself. This is where you move from just working with your peers to now I'm in charge of folks and I've got to influence people. So your decision making becomes more political. It's less about authority and more about influence. I will tell you that's very true on college campuses. You think we've got our own set of problems in Washington, D.C. I agree. Politics. But I will tell you that the politics at the university, they're pretty deep. And so what I've had to do is decide who are the people that I've got to align myself with and who do I need to talk to. So it's the issues are incredibly complex. A lot of things are really ambiguous. And that's what you're hired for when you become the new boss, is figure these sort of things out. So you've got to become effective at building and sustaining alliances. I will tell you in my department, amongst those 40 faculty, I've got 11 that were hired within the last 3 or 4 years, and I've got a bunch of old-timers, kind of like me, and then I've got not very many people in between. We've got a really big generation gap. So trying to integrate those groups and make them all feel good about what they're doing. The young people are worried about, moving through the ranks of the university, and the old timers are like, oh, you guys just need to work hard and keep your head down, and they're not talking to each other too much. And so it's this thing about how do I build and sustain alliances amongst them. So looking at ways to influence. And then my boss, the dean. So I've got to work with her and a lot of politics.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
I'm Derek Sawyer, and I'm a fourth-generation Kansas farmer. I've known all my life I wanted to farm this land near McPherson, which was my grandfather's before me.
I'm Katie Sawyer, a journalist who never dreamed I'd live my life on the farm until I met Derek.
We've married our worlds to help educate consumers about the rural lifestyle and all that farmers do to provide safe and affordable food.
Watch our story and the stories of other young Kansas food producers at kansaslivingmagazine.com/meet a farmer.
We started farming in 1970. It was harder work then than it is now, a lot more physical work and the wear and tear on my knees and my body. Now here I'm 70 years old. I started having knee pain here 4 or 5 years ago, and so I was looking for a stem cell clinic, and lo and behold, my good friend John Farley and Ken Wood, who'd been customers and friends for a number of years, opened their clinic, and in about 2 months my heel was a lot better, and then at the end of 3 months and then going on 4, my knee started making significant improvement, and it's sure been a blessing, because before I had the stem cells, I'd be driving a tractor, and if I sat in a tractor for 2 or 3 hours, when I got out I'd have to stop and get the kinks out of my knee and shake it, and today that's not a problem.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or...
I would say that when you look at how a business is going to transition to the future, you should keep the focus on the business planning. And if you can keep it as logical and keep it as unemotional as possible, which is almost impossible, but if you can focus on the facts, it will make things go a lot better. And also, if you can focus on the future. Most people can agree that we want our business to continue to move forward into the future, and how are we going to assure that? So succession planning in terms of how we're going to find the right people to fill these roles in the future is what most people want. The challenge becomes they don't always have the same idea of how you're going to get there. Framing things objectively, and one of the things that I would suggest, and I'm not really a consultant, I've done consulting, but sometimes somebody from the outside can assist, because they can come in and provide that objective look at your business and say, you know, I've heard both sides here, and this group has valid concerns and this group has valid concerns. Here are some things that we could take to move forward. But it's providing that objective feedback and advice that sometimes can take the emotion off of the table. But the bottom line is, it's the focus on the future and how we're going to get from where we are today to where we want to go in the future, related to people helping to run the business. So a business plan, I'm sure many of you have a business plan. Oftentimes we talk about a short-term strategy and long-term strategy, but oftentimes the succession plan is not part of that business plan. I would make the argument here that that would be something that you should consider adding to your business plan, and it involves outlining the vision with specific goals and strategies, and then looking at the people within your business. Outline each person's role over the next several years, including those who might enter or exit the business. And that's where you can get to either the family side or in the corporate standpoint. You know kind of where people are at in their career, and so what are the probabilities of them leaving, and you can plug that into this plan. And then listing these expectations about changes that may occur over time. So the bottom line of what we're talking about here is trying to look at succession planning or moving forward into the future as objectively as you can, and laying out, okay, what are the pieces of it? Where do we want the business to go? Who are the players? How do we look at replacing some of those people? And when you talk about that, it involves emotions, because people may not be willing to talk about when they're going to retire or when they're going to be changing what they're doing.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
What if U.S. soybean oil were an industry sensation? If end users started asking for it by name? That future is here, the time is now. To meet customer demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in varieties that produce oil with increased functionality. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil. And the decision continues, improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call, we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Hey there, folks. Welcome to Ag AM in Kansas. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with my friend Holly Martin, and we're in Dodge City, Kansas.
We are. Heart of cattle country, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Holly is somebody that I spend a lot of time with on advisory boards and things that do with agriculture, and we have an exciting thing that you and High Plains Journal are bringing to Dodge City.
Yeah, we've scheduled Cattle U to be here in Dodge City. It's going to be July 31st and August 1st out at the United Wireless Arena, and it's just, I'm so excited. It's just going to be a really great event for cattle producers.
It's awesome to have it in Kansas and specifically Southwest Kansas with so many producers.
Yeah, we've got all kinds, of course, the feedlots. You always think of feedlots in Dodge City, but there's a lot of cow-calf producers. There's a lot of stocker guys. And, we've got people scheduled to come from several states away. So we hope that we can really encourage those cattle producers to come regardless of what segment of the industry they're involved in.
Yeah, and when I looked at your lineup, not only do you have great speakers that aren't going to let you sleep, but you have people that are going to bring real-world experience, answers to real issues, and then you're going to have a trade show so that producers can network with each other outside of just let's listen to some of these incredible talks on current issues in the industry and the future issues.
Yeah, that's really the idea, is that we want to inspire people. You're going to kick us off on the 31st, and then inspire people, and then really go dive deep into education in the breakout sessions. Take those things and inspire you to go out into the trade show and then really solve your problems, and that's really what we're trying to accomplish. We want people to come away with practical information. It's not high lofty things that really that you can't really grasp. It's things that I can take that home. I've got this real issue and I can take that home and solve it with my cattle herd, or find things that I can change and make myself and my cow herd more profitable.
Yeah, and I think that if you want to make contacts, you want to network, you want to meet people that maybe you don't have a problem right now, but you might in the future, and you can say, hey, I remember that person at Cattle U that talked about this.
Yeah.
That's who we need to get a hold of.
Yeah. I think the great thing about agriculture guys is they're lifelong learners. If they've quit learning, they probably have gone by the wayside. That's for sure. So they always want to learn, and they always want to try to make themselves in their operation better. And that's what this is all about. It's all about getting better and learning and really diving deep into what's out there for them.
Well, and if you didn't know it, Dodge has unbelievable food, entertainment. It is truly a destination place. I spend a lot of time out here and love it.
Yeah, well, and the good thing about this event is it's in the middle of Dodge City Days. So the night in between the 2 days, we're gonna have an event out at the rodeo, and people are welcome to join us at the rodeo and have a good time there too. So
so rodeo, learn about cows, trade show about cows, good food.
What more could you want?
This
really?
is the reason why you come to Dodge.
That's right.
And but really, it's pretty humbling to be here. You do so much for our industry. High Plains Journal is such a staple for so many of us. We're so thankful for what you do, and this is something that we as Kansans and surrounding states need to support because we need to come work together.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Holly Martin. Thanks for watching us, and we'll see you down the road.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if your cattle get out, you could be held liable for that? Call me. Let's have a discussion. 316-945-6733.
My name's Karen Cope and I have multiple sclerosis. When you have MS, on the outside you look great, but you know what's really going on in the inside is chronic body pain, chronic fatigue. And there's lots of days that I'd wake up and say, oh, please God, help me get through this day. You know, after stem cells, Chloe, my youngest daughter, she was asked by my father-in-law, how's your mom doing? And Chloe said, Grandpa, I've never had a mom like this before, because she was 8 when I was diagnosed, and she really had no other memory of me but being sick. It's really the simple things that we do as a family, like play cards, and to be able to win at cards. You know, they all laugh because I used to repeat myself and say, what hand are we on? You know, where are we at? And it's just been really a true blessing from God, and we're really thankful.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Herbicide-resistant palmer amaranth has become one of the major issues for growers in the Midwestern United States. We are standing now in a corn test plot where we are trying to test some of the chemistries or alternate chemistries which we can use in the corn to manage glyphosate-resistant palmer amaranth. As you see here in this field, we have just sprayed some glyphosate as a start burn down treatment. Most of the grasses are dead and palmer was dead, but later on we see another flush of palmer amaranth. As you see here, these plants, they have come up after we plant our corn here. So these palmer plants, they just came later, and we are trying to see what we can go over the top and manage these seedlings or these plants in corn. So these are the test plots. We have been doing a similar kind of studies we are doing in other crops like soybean, corn, grain sorghum, as well as sunflower. A lot of folks, they have been showing interest growing some cover crops as one of the tool to manage herbicide-resistant palmer amaranth as well as herbicide-resistant kochia. And you can see these 4 rows of soybean we sprayed with the Roundup and Panther MTZ in mid-April. Looks much cleaner than compared to just Roundup treatment what growers normally go. So you can see the benefit of adding pre-applied chemistries along with the Roundup when you are burning down or terminating your cover crops. These soybeans we planted is extend soybean, and we can go with the Roundup and dicamba over the top if we need to. So again, the idea is to integrate whatever tools we have, we can use as an integrated approach to manage this problematic weed, especially the herbicide-resistant kochia and palmer amaranth.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.